I was born in Berea, Kentucky. From the time I was 6 until I was 14, I was living in a home with my stepfather coming in my room at night. I experienced sexual molestation and an emotionally unavailable mother, and living in a lot of fear, a lot of violence, drinking in the home. I watched my mom and her promiscuity and, kind of figured that that was okay. By the time I was 17, I was in the nightclubs and I began stripping. And then I thought that it would be smart to, get money and, do whatever I needed to do.
Like between the age of 18, 19, let's just go and say like 20, started doing pain pills, coke, and things just progressed because once you start doing opiates, you have to have them. Mm-hmm. So what started out is just like every now and then, have fun. It became a chore. Mm-hmm. One thing led to another, and running the streets, acting stupid, doing what girls on the streets do. By that time, like before I got up here, I was just the girl with the dope man. I didn't know anything else but that, and didn't have any way to take care of my habits. So I started walking the streets, making money that way. My addiction got really bad. And once pills started going up, by that time, everything was getting shut down as far as doing pills, so then I got on heroin. I've overdosed. I couldn't even give you a number, honestly.
The issue of sex trafficking and sexual exploitation is so foreign to most people. They don't even realize that it's happening in Lexington, but it actually occurs in every town across the United States. It's important to know because if we don't reach out and help these ladies, then that pattern of abuse and exploitation and trafficking will continue. We have an opportunity to make a difference. So we try to get the word out as well as serve. We want to educate folks and let them know that this is occurring in every neighborhood in Kentucky.
What you see on the street is so foreign to what your daily life is. You didn't even know that Lexington could be like that. You know you're not in the best part of town to start with. And you see a woman lots of times in the cold and the dark, not protected physically, spiritually, or emotionally. It may be 20 degrees outside. She may be in shorts and a thin sweater and flip-flops. You know that, this is not where she wants to be either, but for whatever reason, she has to be there.
In 2000, we began reaching out to women in the adult entertainment industry through the local, what are known as strip clubs here in town. And we knew a bouncer in one of the clubs, so we asked if there was any way we could come and just serve the women. And he indicated that bringing meals would be great because the women didn't eat well. So we started just by taking meals to the local strip clubs, and we were in 5 clubs at one time, going every Wednesday evening and taking meals, reaching out to the ladies, having conversation, developing relationships with those ladies. The women we work with are just like us. They have made a choice that has caused their life to go down a different path, but they're still just like us. We consider them to be our sisters. We don't refer to them as prostitutes or dancers or strippers. The women that we work with are children of the King, and we want them to see themselves that way. So we try to avoid any negative stereotype like that. And we just landed on sisters because we really feel like we have a relationship and an affinity with them. So the young woman who was killed in 2012, her name was Natalie, and we decided at that time to change the name of the ministry from Bruised Reed, which is our outreach to the Adult Entertainment Club, to be Natalie's Sisters, to encompass all the women that we serve. So in her honor, we named it Natalie's Sisters. We do street outreach, we have a club outreach and jail outreach. And then we also have a drop-in center where we have a bricks and mortar location where women can actually come to us and receive services and community resource referrals. The fact that we've seen over 1,500 women at the drop-in center really surprises people, and that just underscores the fact of the existence of sexual exploitation and trafficking in Kentucky.
When a sister comes to the drop-in center, they will meet kind of like a greeter first. They'll get signed in, they'll get their things that they need, they'll get their food. So really they can just expect somebody that'll listen to them, somebody that loves them, is there to help them, to make a change or to take a next step. One example of a next step could be going to treatment. They're tired, they're done, they want to get clean. Sometimes it's just talking about it, asking for resources, talking about the possibility of taking a next step. That's a huge deal for them. The material goods are really important for our ladies. Every meal and every item that they get at the drop-in center is one less transaction that they have to make on the street. Blankets are a big deal year-round, especially in the wintertime. A lot of them don't have coats because most of them are experiencing homelessness. They don't really have anywhere to store anything. You never really think about how much you're walking, but for people who are experiencing homelessness, that's their transportation. They're walking everywhere. So we always try to make sure we've got a steady supply of shoes. Another big thing is an ID. You don't really think about how important an ID is until you try to get a birth certificate or you try to get a replacement social security card. Because really you can't do anything unless you have an ID. Those are the kinds of things that we try and help with.
Street outreach is the best example of the shepherd going and looking for the one lost sheep. We basically get in a car and we go to areas where we know that women are working on the street, and we approach them, identify them. Some of them we already know, and we basically stop and talk with them and offer them the opportunity to come to the drop-in center for resources, for connection, for respite, but we go looking for them.
Jail ministry can be a really unique way to reach out to the ladies at a time when they're sober and they're looking for something to do during the day. They're looking for any reason to get out of their pod or their everyday existence. So they'll come and chat. And a lot of times they're very open to change. And it's a great time to just let them know that we care.
For most of us, we are very privileged to live in an environment where we make our own decisions. We have our own goals, our to-do list. We go shopping when we want. We know where our next meal is coming from. So our goals could be very long-term. What if your only goal for the next 24 hours was survival? And that's what our sisters experience. So anything that we provide that helps them survive the next 24 hours, whether that's a physical need in terms of providing a meal or a blanket to keep them warm, or whether that's an item that's just going to help them not have to engage in work on the street or put themselves in dangerous situations or say no to the next high, whatever that is, we have provided the environment for them to go from that survival mode for 24 hours to hopefully a success mode, where they can think about the future, where they have hope.
The women that we serve through Natalie's Sisters rarely have a non-transactional relationship. Almost everyone that they deal with wants them for some reason or wants them to do something for them. And we are providing unconditional love, compassion, and care through the women that serve our sisters and showing them that there's a way to have a healthy relationship and that the life that they have lived is not the only way to go.